Hello, everybody, and welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and we continue to stream stories of entrepreneurship, leadership, and how people deal with this economy. Today, as we do every week, we like to speak with Mark Furman, director and shareholder at Tarlow, Hart Rodgers, for our segment, Entrepreneurship and the Law. Welcome back, Mark.
Hello there, Jeffrey. Great to be with you. So, we continue to struggle, businesses, with what to do about work from home versus coming into the office. Should we require employees to come in? Should we require them to come in X number of days? What do we do about people who are resistant to coming in? People are very comfortable. Many people are very comfortable working remotely. I'm one of them. I'll confess, you are as well. Being freed up from that commute has been very attractive for a lot of people, and yet you lose something culturally. You lose something in terms of mentorship, and companies continue to really struggle with this issue. And I'm aware of companies that have implemented dictates. Everybody's got to be in the office 3 days a week, 2 days a week, and this pushback from employees. And we're in a time where unemployment is really unusually low. So the balance of power between employers and employees is different than it was at other times. So this is a hard issue. So a lot of this is just business issues, but there are legal issues associated with it because, what about people who are not vaccinated? What about people who have a compromised immune system, even if they are vaccinated, and they're more susceptible, and catching COVID would be more dangerous for them. So how do we balance all of those competing needs, the needs of the business and the realities of COVID and the desires of employees? One of the things I've noticed is this little bit of a generation gap, where young people are missing out in a significant way on development, on mentoring. Each business has its own culture, and it's important that businesses be a team, and that teamwork is harder to do when you don't see each other. And I have actually partners I haven't seen for over 2 years, believe it or not. I used to see them every day in the office. I talk to them, I see them on Zoom, but it is different. You don't hang out around a coffee machine and shoot the breeze. You don't say you want to grab a bite to eat for lunch. And but one of the things I do miss is taking young lawyers to lunch or to breakfast and just talking about life and the law, and um, cases, and trying to give them insight into why certain things are done and not done, what the norms of the profession are, what works in a deposition or in a courtroom or in a negotiation or an arbitration or a mediation, and what doesn't, and why they work or why they don't work. So I don't come with any answers, Jeff. It's just hard, and it remains to be seen. People talk about the new normal. I really don't know where we're going to end up with as the new normal. But it has been a really interesting time, and it's been a very much to my surprise. I know there are danger signs with the economy, but certainly 2020, 2021 were surprisingly strong economically for companies. Not that they didn't have their challenges with supply chain issues and the uncertainty of pricing, and now they're dealing with inflation. But overall, the world did not, the sky did not fall in.
Well, I can't say it hasn't kept me busy. I've always told entrepreneurs the key to being an entrepreneur is being flexible and adaptable. And today, in today's economy, coming out with a personnel policy for all is a very tough thing to do. Added to your list, you add baby boomers who are old fashioned and they want people to work on their schedules that they were taught by their parents. You add baby boomers like you and I who like the freedom that COVID and Zoom has given us. So you have both sides. You have the people taking care of their parents, people taking care of their children, who need the flexibility. But since it's an employee's market and it's hard to find employees and the cost of employees has come up, I think the key for every employer is get to know your employees, be flexible, make sure you're measuring them on output, not on process. And that's what I learned as a management consultant. Don't manage the wrong things. And if people are generating success and showing maturity, that's good. But I think the biggest hole you've mentioned, Mark, since I'm trying to show you I listened, is the mentoring piece. And you're right. You had the option of going to Italy regularly and sitting with young employees and young attorneys and being able to talk to them about the profession. But I think you can make that up via Zoom. You just have to schedule it. You can't do it so spontaneously as you did before, like say, let's have a Zoom lunch. You just have to try to put it in and just, open-ended. How's it going? And try to do those things. So it is a time to adapt. And it's going to continue to be a time to adapt. This economy is not going to stabilize tomorrow. It's going to continue to fluctuate, I think, for an extended period, up and down.
And in order to keep that teamwork going, we've had a Zoom magician a few times.
Right.
We've had wine tasting. We have tried to have some social get-togethers outside where we can socially distance. We have a colleague who has a winery, so we paid a visit or two over there for dinner, and try to keep that connectivity that is necessary to maintain a team and a team spirit and team culture. But certainly it's different than let's all get together and stop working on a later in the afternoon on Friday and just congregate and chat.
That is a loss. And, I used to shut down my company once a month for team meetings. This was when I first started the business, and we did it for years. I do think it's important. I remember my first offsite that I did via Zoom 2.5 years ago, and how anxious I was. It was almost like it was my first offsite ever. And when I was done, I thought this may have gone better than an in-person one because it was less disruptive and people were able to get back to work and be organized and stay focused. And I've done team meetings almost every week since then over the last 2.5 years for companies. And I actually think it's become part of my repertoire. So it's amazing how we can adapt. That's the key, learning to adapt. And I like what you're doing. I think you're experimenting with a lot of different things. And I think you have to continue to do that.
I agree, Jeffrey. And we'll see, there's always seems to be a new variant. Now we have monkey pox because
Right.
the challenges just continue. And then there are the economic challenges, which hopefully we won't end up in a recession.
So we've been speaking with Mark Furman, director and shareholder at Tarlow, Hart Rodgers, for our weekly segment, Entrepreneurship and the Law. Mark, if somebody would like to know and get your counsel on their organization, their family, their business, nonprofit, how would they find you?
I can be reached most easily by email, mfurman, Furman, at tbhr-law.com.
Thank you very much, Mark. We look forward to speaking to you next week on Radio Entrepreneurs.